Voting is happening in almost every state across the country, and it's about to happen in many more. We're going to recap Donald Trump's triumphant weekend, an unusual weekend, mind you. He visited Colorado, California. Why would Donald Trump, right before an election, go to Colorado, of all places? Well, Donald Trump, this last weekend, visited Colorado to launch Project Aurora. Thought it was brilliant. Donald Trump decided to go to a state that is currently being occupied by foreign gangs. Now, one of the lesser reported elements of the 2024 election is not just immigration, but how foreign gangs are occupying our own territory. How foreign gangs have come into our country and they are controlling our apartments, our condominiums, that they're taking over our neighborhoods, that they're dramatically increasing crime. You see, gangs from these other countries know that it is open season here in this country. And that does not even count the influx of legal immigration from Charleroi to Springfield. The example of Aurora, Colorado is remarkable. Donald Trump did a rally in Aurora, Colorado, which was one of his greatest speeches that I have seen in quite some time. There was no gray area. There was no wobbling. There was no wishy-washy. It was direct. It was crisp. Donald Trump said very clearly in Aurora, Colorado, we will deport you if you commit a crime. We will deport you if you are here. We're going to find you and you will leave this country. Donald Trump did this entire Western tour as basically a major immigration issue tour from Aurora to Coachella to Prescott Valley yesterday. You see, Donald Trump going to Aurora, Colorado, and I'm trying to find some of the tape here of his rally, announced the largest deportation effort in American history, but it was even more than that. He announced Project Aurora. And Project Aurora is very simple. That we will not allow our country to be occupied by foreign forces. That we will not allow gangs like Tren de Aroga, or Aruga, whatever, Aroga, to take over our country. Now, this is from a different rally, but this is from the Prescott one, play cut 24.
This November, we have a choice to make. Continue the chaos, allow the criminal cartels to control the border, to allow drugs and fentanyl across our country, or put an end to it once and for all. On behalf of the 16,000 men and women represented by the National Border Patrol Council, we strongly support and endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
That is the National Border Patrol Council, which represents thousands of border agents that just endorsed Donald Trump. Gangs are in your neighborhood, whether you know it or not. J.D. Vance has been a hero this election cycle. Every day he rides into combat against the media. Every day he answers more questions and gives more substance to the Trump agenda than Kamala and Tim Walz have done their entire campaign combined. What's great is that Vance, simply by interviewing and debating as much as he does, forces the regime to lay out real stakes of this race. Forces them to expose exactly what is the agenda of the media and the Democrat Party. One of the best examples of this on Sunday is when Vance had a viral showdown with Martha Raddatz. Vance brought up the migrant gangs and how they've hijacked entire apartment complexes in Aurora. Raddatz's reply, well, what's the big deal? It's only a few apartment complexes, and this is Michael Anton's chef kiss. Michael Anton, who's a professor at Hillsdale College, one of the smartest people out there. We should have Michael Anton on the show more. He's just terrific. And Michael Anton famously wrote a couple summers ago in a piece for The American Mind the way that the media operates, and it's perfect. You should frame it. It's not happening, but it's good that it is. That's called a parallax. Wait, what? It's not happening. Oh, there's no gangs taking over apartments, but it's good that they're in control. Which is it exactly? But then the third one is that it's not happening, but it's good that it is, but it's not even happening that much. But wait, are they taking over territory? And so this is now the new wrinkle of the media. Not new, but they're employing it more. Oh, stop exaggerating. It's only a couple apartment complexes. It's only a couple places. And J.D. Vance brutalizes Martha Raddatz. Play cut 1.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border? Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
Do you hear that? It's not happening, but it's not happening that much. Our turf, our homeland, is slowly but surely being taken over by the worst gangs that you can imagine. There's a new story out of New York as well, from the New York Post, quote, "Pay to Pray." A brutal gang of baby-faced Tren de Aragua migrant gangbangers at a city-funded Manhattan shelter are pulling off armed robberies in Times Square, and they're getting away with it, officials and sources have said. Nearly 24 young migrant thugs, some as young as 11 years old, are part of a dangerous asylum-seeking brat pack that has graduated from purse snatchings to now gunpoint heists, targeting New Yorkers and tourists alike. There's a very simple question. If you cannot walk the streets of your great American cities at night, your leaders have failed and they should all be fired. Kamala Harris turned San Francisco into a murderous, dangerous, open-air drug market. She turned California into a outward exodus state that people no longer want to live in, despite it having the greatest weather on the planet. This is happening all over the country. Now, mind you, the Tren de Aragua managed to stay out of jail because of their ages and the Empire State's lenient criminal justice laws, and they also get taxpayer-funded benefits, luxury hotel rooms, cell phones, and flights to any American city of their choosing. In Scottsdale and Los Angeles, there are gangs of organized burglars from Chile doing devastating home robberies. There's at least been 50 in Scottsdale in the last couple of months. In Maine, the illegal marijuana industry has been taken over by Chinese gangsters. Did you know that tens of thousands of Chinese are among the migrants racing over our border every year? They flew to Mexico just to sneak into America. How many of them are gangbangers or spies or other criminals? All this happens while Kamala media hand waves saying, oh, it's just hijacking a few apartment buildings. This is the regime's attitude towards your country. It's okay if foreign gangs take over your town. It's not my town. It's not my neighborhood. I'm too rich for that. The Donald Trump campaign literally is about this most simple moral question imaginable. Will we allow America to be a dumping ground, to be looted and raped by the rest of the third world? That is the question in front of us. That is the moral question. Will we just allow our country to be open season for the pillaging, for the looting that is happening in front of us?